You like jazz?
What do you mean? You need help. You need help, man.
Want a break from the ads? Upgrade now to Spotify Premium and enjoy ad-free music.
Two plus two is 4, minus 1, that's 3, quick maths.
Aloha. Welcome in, Jack. Oh, Lantern. Welcome in, Vatu. I hope every neon is doing splendid. I will be Enfielding. I wish you luck. Good luck. I pray for your soul that maybe one day you play Wuthering Waves. Except I don't play Wuthering Waves either, but I pray for your soul that one day you play Wuthering Waves. I pray one day that, you know what, actually even better, I pray one day the game, I pray the game EOS is soon. Let's go with that. Although, seeing as Zenless Zone Zero has yet to EOS, I don't see it. I don't see AKE EOSing anytime soon, and people say ZZZ is a failing game. So I finally here again. I finally have free time again, which means we finally have time to play video game. In video game Limbo C, we get to finally play Limbo C! Limbo C Company! And we get to do the new intermission. I haven't done that yet. I've been saving for it. And you know what that means with a new intermission? That's right. The Vermisi voice acting. We're gonna be doing the Vermisi will be voice acting it. I want Flavia's ready, but I'm out of lunacy. I'm sorry to hear that you want her. I have no interest in her. I spent like 140 pulls trying to get the Spider Faust, Ring Faust. I did not get Ring Faust. I did get Nurse Father Hong Lu though, which cool. Unfortunately though, who else did I get? Let's see. Oh yeah, I somehow got Don Quixote. I got Index Faust. And then I got Ring. Hong Lu. And then I also got, who else did I got? Oh yeah, I also got Ujat for my 10 pull ticket. They came with a free 3 rank from this season. And then I used the depository to get Index. Isang. Very disappointed I didn't get Faust though, because I've heard that you kind of need Faust and Yisang. I mean, you need Faust and Honglu to work together. Well, you don't need them, but Honglu does work a lot better when Faust is around. Well, it is what it is. Funeral? We have who we have? Damn, what? Hey, yo, this is music. First time I've actually heard this music. Damn, pretty good. Who's the funeral for? Let's find out! On Dragon Ball Super. Oh. Martin. A funeral was held for Martin the LC researchers today. I want Mommy Rhodia? Are you talking about, like, Bloodfiend Rhodia? I mean, I would want one Mommy Rhodia too, but I think she got replaced by the new Rhodia now. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Maruso, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral processions and etiquette, a whole manner of questions for pointers. Interesting, so Maruso... Oh yeah, didn't Maruso's mummy die? I think I heard that very recently. I have not read any of his side stories. Isn't that like a gimmick in all of his thingies though, is that Maruso's mummy is dead? Thanks, Brent. How did that make Maruso sound? I actually forgot. Expressing respect is the primary No, that's not what I sound. That's not what he sounded like. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Let's go with that. End placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be obtained. Hey, where did I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Have you quit jammering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that benefits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Ugh. Sorry, Ishi. The long text was just too much for me. My focus started filling out from page 30 onwards.
Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp?
Ah! Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor. Dost thou not the one bereft of the dead? Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to die. Because there would have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Ufis Association's nerdization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity? Is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter. Yet no such name relevant to the case was identified. Manager. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? No, wait, I'm not doing it. I'm not even doing it right. That's good enough, innit? Yeah, I have to put more vocalization for him. It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting the research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory, as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff and running on a rampage, and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will, I assume that sort of impediment? How do you say that? I'm gonna go back to shit. I'm on the wrong mouse. All right, open up this. How do you say that? Am I on the right keyboard? I am Pediment. How do you say this? Impediment.
Impediment. Yes, impediment.
No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. Now, I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city.
Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant times offs just because an irrelevant someone has died. And the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it.
Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere, just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis. All that right? Better let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave, just for some sots to lay their desecrated.
And hung young. People tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day.
Oh, and I'm scoffed and hung his head.
Odios. Odios foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed. Another mendacity. All these funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on.
Are those words from his heart or just something said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alicia, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with a cackle of firewood.
So, I suppose you'll be leaving now?
Oh? We're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel.
Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles.
Sometimes doing my own voice for Hong Lu. It's just too perfect. Cricks. You know what's good when you're laughing at your own joke. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Holmheim said there was no cause for concern. Physically, that is, the psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being.
So, you won't be leaving us just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while?
Huh? Me?
Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second green lighting the project. Which means what I'm telling you is more a notice investigation than a request for permission.
Oh, what investigation? What are you?
It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself.
Human experimentation?
Did you really have to put it like that, boss?
Not to worry, Sinclair.
A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy, that's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly—
No! I'm not giving you my consent!
For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for researchers in observational purposes.
Oh, you have no idea. We get boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department. We have a Mirror World Observatorium department? Okay.
They want to be the first ones to get their hands on you and the spearhead research. You see, and had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So, the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time, our researchers are here.
Alicia waved to the researchers who were filing out a funeral hall. After paying their respects, it wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait! I'm perfectly capable of walking on my own. So just don't run any painful tests on me.
Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair.
All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute.
What about you? You're not going with him? Oh, expect a long-term recovery word for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion. But with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats the research projects in my books. Marginally. Enjoying well, lass. I highly suspect that every request for a PTO submitted by your department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year.
As soon as Alicia trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried, really. and Wisp carried him away. All right, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be?
Well, I thought I'd go and visit Gregor. I'm worried about him.
Got something to negotiate I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. I'll also keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they're trying anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. Oh my gosh, she said my name! My wife said my name! Ah! The Cinders fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who'd been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa, in valiant quest for the new color fix's whereabouts. Faust was still here, too, staring blank into the air. She actually in the Gishel staff?
You seem to have some time to spare, manager.
As I stood there wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Holmheim would apparently finish tackling and signing the stack of papers walk over to me.
This makes things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you in Senator Yoshu. A matter that requires your assistance.
What kind of assistance? W Ko A says she H. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything.
There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstruction of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower.
Scratching his head, Holmheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause, as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with a restless questioning. Hey yo, welcome in Heathcliff, you're doing great. We're starting the 9.5 intermission.
Who else, pray, might know where he is, if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a barrel of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there. I know you enjoy this too. Dost thou speak of me?
The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote in her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim.
Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance.
But I have yet to mull words to trade with the most notable yellow harpoon.
You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, you'll be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. No, that is assistant number 2.
I have not yet concluded might exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak likewise. How may I be of service to thee?
Lately, the interpretation of the manager's speech to Center 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be report to me what the manager says.
Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery.
Relay the manager's words. Not Ryoshu's.
They are asking you what kind of assistance you need.
The request for interpretation was not directed to you. But I cannot deny that your meddling, in the present circumstances, a welcome one.
It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow had become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some skillful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation.
In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Center 4's familiarity does not bear repeating.
Did we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRAA.
You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help Faust.
Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Holmheim, who responded by shaking his head.
Not immediately, no. There's one more member you should bring along.
One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Holmheim pushed up his glasses.
The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She's regained consciousness.
Oh boy, what voice am I really gonna do for Kira, though? I gotta come up with, like, something giddy for her. It's gonna be... I gotta come up with something, like, a giddy girl. But, like, not giddy like Don Quixote. After all, they're like foils to one another. Pretty cool, though, we're going to the hospital. The place Holmheim led us to looked like a recovery ward and more... the place Holmheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in a reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are? This counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. Oh hey, her sleeves are gone. Oh hey, she's got a scar on her stomach. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she appeared when I seen her through the center's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information. Yes? How far along is the process of the extraction?
It hasn't yet begun, actually. We are waiting until the lines of information that warrant question can be isolated.
Oh, maybe it's because... Oh, I think she definitely... She had, like, longer sleeves, didn't she? And she also used to have her hood up, I think.
So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders.
Then what should we even do in here?
There is work to be done, contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended.
No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now, you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one of these and I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He immediately gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression.
I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said.
What?
Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half of its current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say, that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal.
I've always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intended twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live. Not after I killed a bazillion of your guys.
So you anticipate some form of cooperative level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicates such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur in losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed from under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely will increase your value in the eyes of the company. Ha! You'll go for zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. What? The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediate steps, such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel.
Compel? Compel?
Compel. The disclosure of information is practically limitless. Druid serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and simulations, and of course procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. Ugh. I do hope that we share similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying! You know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual.
Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Holmheim turned toward the exit. You know, this hospital room, it just looks... This just looks like a regular hospital room. This does not look futuristic. Bro, they got a metal... Why they got a metal table here and like a metal chair? Unless these are bolted to the floor, Kira could pick these up and hit, smack someone with it.
Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely involves more within your capabilities than my own.
And with that, Holmheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. I mean, at least it's not the apprentice that, like... Apprentice of the maestro that Gaiman and Martin. Nonetheless, though, she was friends with that guy. Well, friends with the apprentice and a daughter. Yeah, she knew him. What should I even say to persuade her? Oof. I was still caught in thought when someone quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't ready to fight a blow unless he could cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice, though sacrificing to Thingham a family. Ha! Family. Coming from him, a middle nut thrown out of his kino. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out? That's oh damn, they dropping F-bombs now. That fucker Matthias was a GB. Only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still me by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear, quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his rat. Not surprising it's the ST for the bold tattoo. Same days? Oh, young Ryoshu, would it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for a fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So, what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. Seek you, or I'll sink right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly, or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. Ha! This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so badly. Actually worked? Fixes go. Fixers go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and get stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? Ugh. Like, SYNC? That's so random! Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. Was this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with. Yes, the half her tattoos are gone. Luck, they even confiscated her book. You think the middle study excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she's boitos? Besides, no, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's cause, well, cause Papa was weaker than you. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but we shouldn't argue back. And we called Homai, who'd been waiting outside, back in.
I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency.
What the hell? I can't even unsheath it! Ugh.
You'll not be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let's head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us.
We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. What? Did bro open up a portal to get here? Alright, clear within 10 turns. Yeah, do I want to use my bleed team? Yeah, I think I will. Alright, but do I want to... I think I want to replace somebody, though. Question is who? Oh, no, wait. I could actually... I could either replace Rodion or my Rousseau. Let's see. Alright, let's put in you.
내 작품.
Alright.
또 보고 싶. 라만 차렌들을 뒤엎는다.
Want to get as many additional resources as possible. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly differently from what we remembered. Markedly. Man, they're using a whole bunch of new words in this like intermission. Oh man, you know the remix for the ring. Really good, I like that. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere, the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Honan to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures.
It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company. He'll be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors.
Wayfarer Company? A corporation entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new, or aspirant, W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees have also been taken to call you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember that company vying to take W Corp's place, right? Yes, Dante, you dumbass. That's what they just said. Thanks for repeating it, Monkey D. Luffy looking at. The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point.
And these are the manager and the centers of the LCB department. Our field operations unit frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort.
I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed. Anyway, the support we've provided is more than efficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The band slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to meet your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Beach Team 4. Likewise. What you think he's hot, Dante? Do you want to see his penis? Sexual. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm. As if my ticking didn't bother him at all. He was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalize on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products. The profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. But what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. Faust doesn't seem happy at all. I don't think Faust used to never say sure. I think being seen as naive Faust to stupid Faust has really irked her. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Holmheim. He is referring to the Monolith Sales Project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We reviewed the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisted in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them, if you don't mind. Holmheim fixed Kira with a pointed look, though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation. She still gave up a sliver of information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farm? Oh, it's, gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some back streets area. The back streets? Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're looking pissing me off. What? That's really all I've got. For real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? Oh. With all that whining, I thought that brat could use a lesson reminder of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company assets, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case.
Team leader, Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay.
My apologies. I'll keep them in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back. Bakir looked far from satisfied with how Homa handled the situation.
He gets to sock me in the face and walk out scot-free? So freaking annoying!
Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. That punch just now, though. What was that? Probably W Corp's new technology.
It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let's resume the task at hand. Scenario 2. Give Major Allen whatever information you have.
That door should lead to one of the ring-protected cuffs. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But HNI. Where they actually lead, it's all blurry.
It seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice?
We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. So that's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then. I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first?
We'll start with the one Scenarioshi mentioned. Ha! They don't trust me at all, huh? That's why even bring me along.
Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began to set up various devices on the door. And soon an elegant white door opened before us.
Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Holmheim? Yes, this once. Our procedures for heading over field operations.
Okay, let's see what's in there. Oh. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? Ayo, it's the whale. The whale one, the blue, I forgot his name. The Indigo Fixer game ended. Yo, is that Harambe? Yo, they got Harambe in here. They have Harambe in Olympus Company. Holy shit. Oh, they also got a mammoth, they got a ram, they got a tiger, and then they just have like the fox that's just chilling. The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues. Or perhaps taxidermied animals. Felt like a gallery of sorts. But it was so quiet, the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect.
Holy shit! The seal is just insane! That's the whale from Aid Associated Great Lakes Special Issue!
Kira, who seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more edge in her voice.
Man, seeing it in real life shit hits different! And Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his. Huh.
It's a Great Lake whale? Doesn't look like one we've encountered, though.
Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity, modified, outskirts born.
They look almost alive. They're not, right?
No, they're not. Duh. Though Noble Unk did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything's dead. Everything here is dead. Meh. Still looks crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits.
Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide it. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party.
Ugh.
Don Quixote.
The eye of a second kindred of House Tepes. What is it doing here?
At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things. Starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. Itchware. It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with the maestros out there and an auction house.
Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence.
Before Hormheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning toward the sound of shoes collecting the floor. Hey, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. Hey, this guy, I like this guy. Man, why couldn't we have an idea like this? Ugh.
Net presents! It's kind of like Papa's.
Hey, no, wait! That's not the raid bus. We can leave it at our level. We gotta get out of here.
It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence.
Hey, yo. Hey, what's the ribbons he got on here? Why do those look like missing textures? As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spinderling fallen from a parent's web. How many years has it been? You. Ah, right. It makes sense that you would have failed to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor. Didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Wolf? Like a polygon from For Honor? Yes. That must have been when I was quite captured by the sensation of change of the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocity yet cavernously resonant hum. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose lesson was a 3 out of 7, praising the intensity of primary clues and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right. Emir Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still as sly as a raven. Unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshu was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I feeling she was, in fact, dragging us out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing, not much longer till it's ready. Young Holmheim, the lockdown sequence! Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members in an incessant glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Holmheim without even making a hint of her earlier shenanigans.
I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is by its nature a time-consuming work, beyond an expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable junction to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote's removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Holmheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quickly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith and potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Aryashiki. Ugh, I was going to try using it anyway. I have long wanted to see if Maestro's death is indifferent. Telling him that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. She and Holmheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Aryashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a high generation,
And I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us. But even if they knew nothing, they won't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I mistake thee or not, Gloch. Think of that woman as Leicheng, and do as you did in HD's mention. I'll take care of the rest. Right. That's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, and catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Aryashiki, if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the Maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Hophism, and mine, the gallery of Emil Benoit. Which is why I would prefer to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here. A masterless one at that. Acquiring the Aryashiki makes it worth the cost. Ugh. If you want the taste! What? Huh? Confusion flickered across Ryoshi's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The luck! The house spells that bind the Aryashiki no longer exists. So why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. So, the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? The Maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm. It was enough to make Ryoshi recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash. The Maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshi's arm and her own, as though the attackman experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success? Or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student, and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why? It's lamentability. Lamentably. Okay. Lamentably disappointing. The Maestro advanced toward us with assured certainty, and then seized the beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, on a mere thread it wouldn't be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked like a chain. The jaw, bound not by bone but by ligaments, that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire the structural refinement. The thrice-quoted ring on her finger gave off a cold glint. The walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with a sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, which better way to calm this delivering of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The Maestro plunged her arm into the long, serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated pressure as a presence of that of the Nurse Fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege, that this is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited for an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready?
1 minute to go, step aside.
The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The woman was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast like a appendage midway through its hurling motion. Hey yo, Kira the goat! The one who intercepted the blow.
Huh? Shit!
Was Kira? Struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still sealed blades. That's pretty awesome. I like this. Kiro? She suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of?
Shit! This wasn't the plan at all!
Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly, because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle. For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite that quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha! You must be the new Matthias token. Why do you send him my way?
Fuck if I know! I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it! The devil gonna ditch me in here. Why not even... Must the instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash. Hold on. So, the behavioral facets of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now.
Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil and the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Minoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The Maestroys lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but...
"'Tis a foul injunction to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel! Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned affixers have displayed through the ages!"
Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the Maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing to the door. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence, and we'll see you at the door immediately upon your exit.
Everyone to the door! Faust, retrieve the organic round. It's a center number 3.
As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips.
Kinda for real.
This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her.
I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking? Damn it like that. You, don't just stand there. Get over here now. But these guys, they're gonna come flooding in if I... You take the gate cleaved in half again. You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay.
Blocking the Maestro's arm by a hair as if it came down on her again, Kira herself toward the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the 2 back doors before the Maestro could cross over.
Ugh, bull cut. Think you can still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says.
Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the Reamers that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voice comes through Holmheim radio one after another.
Huh?
I guess so.
Ready for your order, exit the manager. I, Ointus, and prepare to answer your call whenever and whenever. Hang on! I just need to finish this bite!
Everyone to me! Damn, Dante really... actually, I kind of like this. Dante really using his ability now, huh? I like the fact that we now have this ability where Dante can just call the sinners upon will, so we don't always need all of them by our side. So it's gonna allow us to have more, how do you put it, split cutscenes, I guess? Where we can have like several separate teams doing stuff with it. Not needing like, all 12 sinners to be by Dante's side. Or if we don't have all 12 sinners, then, you know, then we just don't have those IDs. I like that. Interesting choice, though, to have Gregor just not be included at all so far. Like, I would think that we would visit him at least, but I'm quite surprised that we don't get the opportunity.
워프 1차 연산 시스템은 해당 행동의 약 14%의 정리 기여도가 있음을 판단했습니다.
I was gonna say, where's my bottle? Found it. Wow, that Yiseng ID still do pretty good damage.
방금 청소를 수행한 요원께 W4 인재관리 부서에서 자동 승진 추천서가 발부되었음을
I watched a video about how the Ring Yisang actually isn't as good as people make out to be, at least today. That, like, power scaling says that he's not that good anymore. I don't know, he actually still does pretty good. He's still, like, really good. I mean, he did 100 damage this encounter, whereas Ring Hong Lu did 150 with their S3. The Ring Yisan did like 110 with his S3, which pretty good. Also pretty awesome that we get like more, we're getting more and more of these fights. We have like more, we're having an additional teammate that isn't like a sinner. Alright, let's see how much Barber does. Wow. The ringing song does more damage than Barber Oiti. Crazy. Actually, is there another identity for Yisang that is bleed based? I don't know of any. Funnily enough, actually for Faust, there's like what, only 2 sinking identities for her. I just find it so fascinating. There's what? There's like 166 plus IDs in the game. And yet, there's for a lot of sinners, they only have like 1 element. One ID relating to like 1 of each element so far. Wow, that was easy. Yeah, hit him. Hit him, Meruso. Get him, King. I'm surprised we actually aren't having more Meruso in here. It's really strange to me. Because usually intermissions are supposed to be a mixture of the previous intermission and introducing what's going to happen with... Actually, is it? No, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends. Previously, the older intermissions were about introducing like the new Sinner's Canto. But now it seems like a outro for this current, like, what's it called? 9.5 is like an outro for Ryoshu's. But then you have the Warp Train Express, which is an intro for Don Quixote's. Oh, interesting though. It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought that was it for me back. Wait, I'm still trying to figure out her voice. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature, be freaked. We are merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you aren't, if we're gonna, like, why even drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust, Like, why even drag me into this if you were, Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't, I'm still trying to fucking figure out her voice. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me, weirdos? I gotta make her sound more whiny, because she's supposed to be a brat. We would have opened them all at the end of the day, SD. SD? What's that? Saying difference. Again. Why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Just spell it out and say it like it was anticipated. That's W-H. Huh? Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 50%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Favonists won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down. Right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have been the ring's tough clock, and those Favorist beasts have endured long-standing infection within the ring. If they got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. And clarify what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, comparing to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration.
No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely they wouldn't move on the House of Spiders so soon.
Eh? They could always rush for a surprise attack, though.
Even that, Favis Maestros seemed to lack clear intel of the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they need time to assess and deliberate about the situation.
The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, thus possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt, and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. Ugh. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new Scabard's fault? Yoshio lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown, and that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering must fate! 'Twas seen by all, indeed? Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshi's gaze lingered at the sword before slowly shifting toward the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Arya? Yoshu, is it an SS, a demon edge, and digit blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword.
This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Just for a moment. Team leader, Alan.
Please, feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then?
No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove more than adequate.
Where are we going? I'm trying to think of where we would go. Imagine we just go back to the door. Holy, that is loud. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spider Pyre. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of center number 11 sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him. The same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gag of citizens who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work.
Hohenheim, how long would the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for that relic now, which means that it should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest.
The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how. The way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling.
Gee, I wonder why, Dante! It's almost like as if a child possessed the sword.
It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure.
Fine.
Yoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair. Then, wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vespa Karobo, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped out his back. Snack thief?
Manager.
Got on snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate all of them.
Ah, shit. What voice do I do for this guy?
Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding.
Verge, kick his ass.
Ugh. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Sharon also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Sharon! Sharon!
Sharon, super sulky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day.
Deploying super pass bitter candy.
Beep beep. Mode disabled.
I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but man, move the paper from my back now. It's a little inconvenient for me.
Sharon, forgiveness this time. Next time, no mercy.
Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again.
Vergis looked on with an inexcusable expression as Sharon peeled the snack thief sign off Vespa's back.
Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How the fuck do I want to sound? Have him sound like?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth.
Wait a minute. I was saving that for later.
I assumed you were being picky.
Well, now you know. Yet I still see you gobbling up my share.
My throat's tight.
Ugh, he took my snack too. Verge, kick his ass.
Rodion Romanvish. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled to your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well.
Chill, that's what's being agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is this.
Where did you hear that line from, Rodion? Where have you heard that one from? Why was Virgilius gonna act that? Because that's because Virgilius and Roland met up once. The lines of Virgilius's face brow looked deeper than usual today, hoping to help him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches. And to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his broodiness silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign?
Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign.
I've heard from the researchers. but nothing of particular significance came out of it.
Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomena, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult.
Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the senators can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it.
If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the researchers' effort is limited to reducing variables, such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place.
By individuals bearing signs, do you mean people like Damien and Sanson?
Wait, then those guys doing what Sinclair did? Pulling some super-powered future selves to just wreck everything? Even Sonia?
Or we should step in and put an end to the subject before Rhea gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then.
Right. Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of light rings Damien used to finish off Cromer? Or Samson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. That does seem plausible.
So, none of that information we can confirm yet.
Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet, ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present.
This is, at best, grounded in supposition.
Supposition? How the fuck? How are you supposed to say that? I'm gonna have to look this up too, bruh. Supposition. Supposition.
This is at best grounded in supposition. But it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self.
Oh, that bit about the shine, maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah.
The precise proposition of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the science working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no accountable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated.
I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research.
Oh, so you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway. No, I mean, I'm kidding. Even just thought I'd try and get along with the mood.
The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better? I think. So, did anything happen that we should worry about?
I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, small skin sample. Oh, they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation.
Yeah, and I'd have filled some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return. Oh, I don't know if they'll ever come back. Actually, Faust said they only exist in my future self. So, wait. Does my future self even have those memories? Should I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox. It would seem, in such a case,
that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures.
If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless purification, and the body of information that constitutes a certain future was cut into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished
to ever reverse their course and trace the path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation.
Here you go again. More than nonsense only you lot understand. Boy, maybe or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Then some part of him's gotta be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like a muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps you can still pull off some of those tricks from back then.
Tricks from back then?
Heard you kicked off right around there. You pulled out that trick you picked up from that placid old geezer, right?
Not just that, he was using that Mong technique quite effortlessly too.
What? That glowing ring thing?
Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them caught around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances his physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough's one part of it. But there's gotta be more, right?
Don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they passed down to members. Technique, yeah, something like that. Look at it, that black Gordy leader, that leg hang prick. And they're as fat as we thought. A lot of them fingers, ain't they?
The notion seems to unravel. Well, even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too.
So what? Only the proper hardbasses can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it?
Well, anyone in particular prompting it, the sitters slowly turned their gaze toward Vigilius and Vespa.
I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too.
I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? I circulate among elite fixers in the association leadership that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. Among fixers, sayest thou? Yes, give the technique to manifest it. How-to tips, really, spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest Mag's bonus vid? Bro was really popping off with it. Straight up horrifying. Game end yourself with a shiny mong wrapped around the weapon. Huh? It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue! Literally on the videotape in the back! Maybe you missed it. Messed it up. Maybe you missed it? Videotape? Alas, for many a week have I been shredded from Mephi. Giving me a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me! When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of avenging fixes. As Don Quixote's dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Oitis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing it with suspicion.
From what I recall, the mental of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it.
That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prothesis and augmentation. And depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use.
You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind?
I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like.
From what I observe, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, it is not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it.
Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research. And according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn wield shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training.
Vesper's brows visibly twitched the moment Yellow Harpoon left Vergilius' lips. Yeah. Doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. Yellow Harpoon. Huh. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes, and he uses a harpoon, too. Can you argue with that?
If I were to exaggerate, even Senator Yisang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it.
Why must thyself of mine be chosen as the point of comparison?
Well, because you're the whippiest one here.
Don't let it get to you.
Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to build it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that would have been useful.
Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too?
Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the Middle Nurse Father didn't use any Shin or Mong. Damn, you know what? Actually, they're right. He really didn't. Bro was that strong, huh? He probably would have won if he actually did use Shin or Mong.
Papa never taught me how to use it.
He always said I could get strong without a stupid crutch like that.
Ha! It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place.
Vespa's responses always came back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns at the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too. Or perhaps she couldn't simply... Or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue. Her expression setting into a blend of frustration and something that looks a little too close to sadness.
If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes. You will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming the company's decision to tolerate your continued existence.
I already said I get it.
As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager, the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line, and you will be the one who pays the price.
There's nothing to which what Vergilius said that he couldn't argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feeling towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around the LCE.
The examination is concluded. I suppose it would be an issue to let you hear the results together.
Before we knew it, Honheim and Ryoshi returned. I checked my OBS and imagine I actually didn't have the game showing this entire time. I was actually a little concerned about that, and possibly no one said anything.
You present the conclusion first. No, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description.
Yeah, not the sentient sword, huh? Ryoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Honheim meant by will now. It was a reading of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness
and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. Pardon me.
I assume they asked whether it could be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable, and that reconstruction of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero, given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal.
How the fuck? What they keep making? They have more. Man, this is all right. I swear. Last intermission. Not even last intermission. Canto 9. At least I had like all the words that were like big words I could pronounce, even if I didn't completely understood what they meant. I've had like 3 so far that I don't understand how to pronounce, and I have to look it up. All right. Let's see that. Infinitesimal. Infinitesimal. His balls were infinitesimal. His balls were infinitesimal. That penis was the most infinitesimal thing I've ever seen.
We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present Magitante. Such matters are reserved for us to hold on to.
Right.
But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Senator Yoshi's memories. Though again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment. Nevertheless, and to that end, yes, further analysis in the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. You should still be in the ring near his father's quarters. That will be all.
Bonheim cut himself off there, wiping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he constructed in our conversation. Alright, then. Before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food and averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had longed and stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they had been intently listening to our conversation. Where are we to go? Ah, right. Sorry, I forgot the rest of you weren't with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Roshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira, too.
The prisoner of war, executive manager.
We talking about me? Yeah, I guess. I'm working with him, too, yeah.
Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you'll be held accountable without exception.
Yeah, sure. Whatevs. Kira needled Oitis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors that we went to earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hand shut up the moment I finished speaking.
I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager.
I knew I could rely on you. Otis.
Your recognition for my loyalty honors me. Executive manager, I, Otis, understand better than anyone you're concerned about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to portray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only Hannibal soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on your other duties without personally seeing to your safety.
I get it, OT. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy. That. Better I stick by your side and scrap it out my shelf. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A researcher yet unfinished holds my efforts. I should join you once there's found closure. I don't think it'd give you much help whenever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow, if that is your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again.
Alan! Alan! Alright, is this gonna be a combat one next? Where are we? There we are. Sorry. Actually, alright, I want to look at this. Alright, so we start the funeral. Alright, cool. Hospital, cool. Oh. Man, I gotta tilt my head like I'm a dog. It's reacting to somebody talking to me. Funny. Alright, alright, yeah. Oh, yo, they actually colored this. It looks like the monitors in the cutscene. That's a lot of attention to detail. That's cool. And what's down here? A library? The library? The library that will ruin you? Okay, we're going back. What we do here is go back. La, 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 la. Oh, not Ishmael. Wait, what does this Ishmael do actually? Again, actually for gore. Bleed and burn. Burn? Burn. This unit has thrown blaze on hit. Inflict burn by the base amount of bleed. Interesting. Lower user stack. Oh. Interesting. So she's mainly bleed, but she also has burn as a part of her kit. Interesting. Very interesting. Rillion, you wonderful. Begin. You've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading to the Rings Gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned. Hold on a sec. I wasn't actually gatekeeping more stuff. Huh? Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell about gates? Doors? Yep. That door over there? Pretty sure connects to N Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in, all hyped about some canned whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle. Papa going there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf. Protected by thumb area or something. Unlike earlier, but she offered only vague snippets, even about just a single door. He was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid, even to someone as clueless about the back doors as me. She's far more cooperative than anticipated, even after that Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. Yeah, I mean, we did save her ass, so she's probably really grateful about that. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. What if she changed her mind about cooperating with us? Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, except the manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. Frickin', I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know? Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same. Start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached for the nearest doors, he told me, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory, painted over in parts, slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. Ugh. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now. Could it be tied to Arya? Let's start with that door. Okay. This one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place, oh, this is a pretty place. I wouldn't mind being here. Man, it's actually, wow. This seems like one of the nicest places in the city yet.
Judging by its date, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest, most likely a park.
Oh. Alright, it's a park inside a nest. Makes sense.
Every sidewalk in here's dragging some animal along. Means they've got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place.
The walk. What the fuck? Oh, come on, really? The walk, the past Ryoshu men remembering, the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked. Are you kidding me? Bro. I'm trying to act as my damn Discord and for whatever reason it swapped to another monitor. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru?
Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy though.
Saru was a bit bigger by the end.
Sorry it hurt. Sorry. It hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster.
Damn.
Why isn't she getting any better? I give her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Wanna go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? There's this workshop Dad always visits. The door there is connected to a pork. We can go right now.
Ryoshi's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing.
That was her as a kid?
Very. Such generous thoughts seem most unlike thee, young Ryoshu. Hey, clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly?
No, come on. You know what's other than I can control.
G. GG.
Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in Age Group with Hong Lu. Which probably means...
Why are y'all staring at me? It's so random. What the hell?
Did you not see that just now?
See what? You guys zoning out together?
Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Daiyu and Hong Lu, he doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. I guess it makes sense. They don't have any direct connection to you, Dante. Are you
Was that adorable Howard? Thy companion of old, young Ryoshu.
Indeed.
Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to put in an assignment with a spider driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kind of fate had she died sooner. You inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal. How can such weakness be born?
What happened to Saru in the end? Oof.
She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru would start whipping in pain. And I shut myself in my room, crying.
You were?
There's someone else? Who else? Oh, see. Of course it was me.
But after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced.
And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received was something he called the Beastborn Blade. A tanto that would wind me up inside his voice with every swing. Oh, no way. I always knew there was something creepy with that rebel unk. So that's how we killed your dog, huh? No, you didn't kill Saru. That tanto was alive.
Did you just say alive?
Bloody hell. Right nuts of that psycho.
Her eyes were embedded in it like a donut, and they stared at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shut and remained of her time.
in my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why are you still with that? Why are you still mess with that art thing then? Let's be honest, after a scene like that, you'd want to steer clear, yeah?
Right? Those things he called artworks were also cursed. Flip nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out other ring artworks outside Albina and her nurse fathers. So, maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that. But, yeah. Her stuff never gave me any art vibes. For real. I thought this theme, well, I was terrified at first. But yet I learned more. There were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creatures? From what you've told me about Lister, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's some things he always used to say. That is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible. There's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all.
Can't say I get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell. How do you end up getting used to that kind of thing?
Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I get used to it. But that bastard releases installation artworks cause night terrors and nightmares for...
Rattle. The scamper moved and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled. There was, at once, a strangest liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation.
Night terrors.
Crying to nightmares. In the House of Spiders?
There was actually someone who got scared of the ring stuff back in your day? I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back.
Yeah, that's nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks, covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought.
Right here. There's to be huge artwork displayed here. Now I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his watch. Mommy! What's wrong? Over there! Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room.
Oh, you've returned. Yoshihide. I decided to attempt an installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery.
Mommy! You won't me!
Dearest Yoshihide, Arya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem.
It would. You liking it, and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Arya will. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was clay. Saru? No. Too big to be Saru.
The last array of memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Arya, but never truly reach her.
I see. This hollow void. This must be Arya.
The sensation of motion for what must have been empty began to entangle within Ryoshu's memories. It makes it possible for us to reminisce about Arya together. The soft rattle Arya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately, none of the places we ended up stirred Ryoshu's memories any further.
Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What the? How'd they get in here?
Sarukira pointed ahead where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh in behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before?
Didst thou not say thou hast sealed the doll earlier? How these Vasville comes to stand before us once more?
They probably infiltrated in an entirely separate route. Another back door. As you can see, their objective seems to be the retrieval of the ring nurse father's artworks.
Get on with it! We need to move out as many pieces as we can before we pull out.
Wait, but I thought Rebel Unk was washed. You got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Ha! Now those artwork possess value in and of itself. Was it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But in imagining how those pieces would be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage, connected to my name and the description blacks, pretty unsavory. Then maybe they may be appliqué with transporting those objects for now. They will likely soon find cause to harm the Wayfarer and the LCE personnel stationed here, except the manager. It'll be prudent to eliminate them without any delay, considering the ring's reputation.
Otis is right. Better wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time. But it should be fine. Why not this time? Did Gregor kicking their ass or something? And if only this was how, like, every Olympus Company combat scene was like. Unfortunately, though, with skill 3s, it always turns every fight into, like, a long cutscene. I wish there was a way to make... I wish there was an option. So S3 animations are considered, like, S1 or S2 animations. So you didn't have to watch, like, this prolonged cutscene every time they attack. Sure, it's cool and all, but, you know, once you've seen it for, like, the 20th or... actually, not even the 20th. Like, once you've seen it for the 50th time, especially when you've done mirror dungeons back-to-back, like 3 or 4 in a day, then you're like, okay, can I just have an option to eliminate it so I can speedrun MDs faster? I mean, if they should want to enable it for MDs, that'd be cool. Oh? What's she doing? Interesting that she's, like, inflicting sinking. But yet, Ishmael's ID is bleed related. Bing, bing. Bang!
확실히 훌륭하군. 5번 수감자. 덕분에 위험한 순간도 넘어간 적이 많다지.
Does anyone have their eye? No, no one has their ego yet.
대가리 딱 떼고.
I was hoping to use somebody's ego to give them their passive so they can work faster. It took me forever. I've been playing this game for what, a year now, maybe? It took me a year to realize you can only have one ego passive on at the same time. But I only learned that because I paid attention during MDs after doing like several runs back to back. Man, seeing her fight makes me wanna... Okay, I think we do have a couple egos that we can do now. Let's see. Who do I want to do though? What is that one? I don't think that passive is any good though. Ego passive, gain 2 poise when defeating it as bleed. I mean that one's actually like pretty good in this case. I will put that on. Oh, nice. I remember from forever ago, someone was like, egos aren't used to like do damage. I'm like, what's the point of egos then? The passives. You use an ego once to get like a passive in like these kinds of battles, and then boss battles you use them if you need like one to clash. I think it's a little silly still, but you know, at least even if it doesn't do much of damage, I do get a good passive out of it. Never mind, I guess she doesn't do any sinking. Oh, it's just schizo. Man, seeing her fight makes me want to get Ishmael's identity for her now. Alright, let's see. Who else has an ego? You do. So what does your egos do? I forgot. Passive. Game protection. Base power minus 1 point power to the electrical skill. And I don't like either of those. Who else has their ego? Do you? You do. We have that one. Honglu. Wait. That's Yisang. Yisang, where are you? What is that one's passive? I got a shadow one flick plus 1 burn. And yeah, that's not going to be useful. OT. I think yours is alright. Gain 1 damage up this extra on this unit is in during a turn. Oh yeah, that's pretty useful. Actually, no, I should probably use that on this one. And then what else? I already used yours. What about you? Do you have one I can use? Yoshu, ego. Yeah, it's useless. Unclash one, click blind. Okay. Alright, we'll go with that. Very cool. Very cool, Honglu.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
징계팀 직원이라면 당연한 판단이긴 해. 잘했다는 칭찬은 생략하는 게 좋겠지? 있는 힘껏 찔러놓고 으깨놨지만.
Oh, I guess I really need to do that, huh?
언젠가 다시 재생하겠지.
With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them?
Yoshu kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other ring members were in sight.
And enjoy
Rain?
ad-free music.
But where the hell were those light coming from anyway? Weren't just the first wave? Had more of the sides legging it in the back, like they've been looking somewhere else.
According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor.
Another corridor?
What precisely does the designation another corridor refer to?
The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys in display. Your company, if I recalled correctly, designate as the quarter of the middle nurse father.
Now,
I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, but before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate and nodded her nails as if she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she just locked in on a decision.
Sure, I got stuff to tell you. Like, hell stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie. But I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I've got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as a home, and my memories of it are all fragmented as best. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps I wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, we began our move toward the corridor in the middle. Alright, that's it for me. Stream over. Thank you everyone who chilled out for a while. I hope you had a fun time while it lasted. Maybe I'll go on for longer tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe, probably. That is the plan. But until then, though, I'll see y'all next time with Beast Bomb Next Victim. Bye! Well, Vermire will. Bye. Beast. Oh!